Sure, Sam.
Yeah,
Really good, thank you. Thanks for organising this observation.
well, thanks for offering to do it.
So what we're just going to do is I'm just going to give you a quick brief of the process so you get a good understanding of what we're going to be going through. So for the observation, what we're going to do now is a pre-observation meeting where we go through the lesson plan you're going to be delivering, identify the things you wish to cover in the lesson, any particular things you would like me to be looking at as we go through. And also identifying some learners who you'd like me to be able to ask some questions with at the end of the session so I can find out the success of your lesson. So what we've just done now is the way that the observation is going to work is we go through the pre-brief now. The actual observation itself for the day we've got scheduled for Tuesday morning is, Monday morning we're going to be going through this, and that's the SAL lesson.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So what we'll be doing is, for the first 10 minutes, I'm just going to be in there observing and looking for the principles around manaakitanga, manaotahaki, na whakapurangatanga, looking at kotaitanga, and agentic type of dialogue. Okay. So I'm looking for evidence of those elements. And what I'll do is as they go through, when I see those sorts of components, I'll just write down the things I saw during the first 10 minutes of the session. After the first 10 minutes, what we're going to do is going to move on to the second part of the assessment, which is for every minute I'm going to document what you're doing, and I'm going to code that whether you're going to be using drawing on learners' prior learning, with co-construction, feedback or feed forward, or whether you're simply just instructing, giving some detailed content to it.
Okay.
So I'll code that with a time frame for each minute and also give a little bit of document. At the same time that's occurring, I'm also going to draw a map, and I'm going to be monitoring your movement within that period. Okay? At the end of the session, with the 3 learners who you've identified, I'm going to catch up with them, and I'm going to interview each of those 3 learners individually, and I'm going to be asking them, what are you learning, how are they going, and how do they know, and also what they need to learn next, and any general feedback. So I'll capture that evidence. At the end of the gathering that, I'll have a quick look at it, and then we'll catch up for a post-moderation. Yep. Do you have any questions around?
No, it sounds pretty straightforward.
Is it? Cool. So the session we're doing at the moment is simply for you to explain the lesson and what you would like me to be able to focus on in regards to goals during the observation. Okay. Right. So if you'd like to just take me through your lesson, and what I'm interested in is the lesson objective, teaching points, your learning activities, confirmation activities, and how you're going to set up the environment and learning activities.
So this lesson is the first one out of LO 2.1. So it's third lesson on the course, and they talk about the systems before. So it's like an introduction to the actual NZDF system for learning, or SAL. So my objectives, there's 4. One's to describe the SAL methodology, 1 to identify SAL stakeholders, third to locate or access the SAL toolkit, and the 4th is to navigate the learning toolkit, and that aligns to the teaching points and the standards that we've got in the syllabus here, so that's good that lines up.
Great.
What else did you need to know?
Teaching points and how you organise those to simple to complex.
So the teaching points in stage 1 are just the methodology and the stakeholders. So if I start like this interest getter of my lesson, there's a KWL chart focusing on what they know about methodology and stakeholders. Okay. And then once we've done that chart, then my first activity is to review that and then use a PowerPoint, which will allow me to address any potential things they have in their no column and address anything in their want to know.
Okay, so using that to capture their prior learning?
Yes.
And then to establish what they wish to learn so you can help shape their lesson to meet that. And
because the key thing was this, I changed this, I tried it in the last course and it kind of went okay, but it could definitely do better. But my intent here is because these are level 2 instructors, I don't want to deliver the same lesson as on level 1, as in this is SAL, he's at a service level, go find some facts and we're done. I want them to apply it to their own situations because they've got experience with it. Yes. And so that's what the KWL check is designed to do in that stage.
Great.
So that's stage 1. They come out, we've talked through the methodology and the stakeholders through the PowerPoint. And this is the key change. Didn't work so well in the last lesson, the last time I delivered it, but I want to revisit before they look at the SAL toolkit and highlight some of the wants in particular they are interested in finding out about, because for me that's more valuable, because the success in this stage is to navigate the learning toolkit. So if they're clicking through and reading, that means they're meeting the learning intention or the lesson objective. So if they're doing that, search information they're interested in rather than what I'm directing them from the task, then that's a much higher benefit. So that's what I want to.
And I can see that having that motivation, intrinsic motivation to find something they want to find out about,
definitely
drives them to do research, makes it meaningful.
Yeah. So then after that, we bring it back together, and then they fill in the learned column. The intent being, ideal scenario is that everyone has a want and they can answer that in the learned by the end of the lesson. But because it's the start of course and they may be unfamiliar with SAL, it's okay if they're learning something from the directed task in the workbook.
Okay.
And that'll allow them to meet all of the objectives.
Great.
And that they learnt is my confirmation at the end.
Okay. And so how are you going to be seeing where are they going to be operating from?
So it starts in the main classroom, but it's important that they are logged in here before the lesson.
Yeah.
That will save me a lot of time. So we start in there for the Canterbury and the brief, and then we come in here for the navigating the toolkit, because it's online.
Okay. That's really good. Was there any sort of particular training aids you need in here to help guide them?
Just the course workbook, which has got the SAL toolkit treasure hunt in it, for those people that don't have a want in particular for using.
How will they know where to go for that?
Oh, so demonstrate on the computer and then.
Oh, demonstrate in there?
Yeah, it's the buttons you click to say that's what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that. And that's the lesson there, the confirmation. So how will you confirm that they've learned what they need to?
So it'll be more done, I suppose in the first stage, it will just be a simple confirmation question.
Yes.
So after the end of the PowerPoint, going back through and double checking, who's the stakeholder in this phase, what is the main thing, but quite short. And the next one, because it's just navigate, it can be an observation of them going on the learning toolkit, posing questions to them as they go through.
Okay. And you'll finish the lesson in here?
No, we'll go back to do the learned column and then I'll double check that.
Okay. So it closes the exercise off and they go back and complete the learned.
Yeah. And then I can kind of give them feedback in the lesson wrap up about what we've seen.
Great. And that'll confirm that they've learned what they needed to and they're correct with their thinking.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, that's good. And the lesson, what time is the lesson going to start?
I think it's the third lesson, so it should be 10:30 immediately after morning tea.
10:30 after morning tea.
Yeah.
And how will you address them logging on?
Because I think the lesson that is before is at morning tea, so they've got 15 minutes. I'll just say as they're leaving, just make sure you're logged into the computer next door.
Okay.
In the next 15 minutes.
Great. Okay. For this lesson, whereabouts do you think it sits in regards to solar taxonomy?
So looking at the objectives, so it's sort of multi and uni. So describe SAL methodology, identify SAL stakeholders. So it describes multi, identify as uni. And then the navigating the toolkit, I think that's multi, because it's just a series of click on this, click on this, click on this, not like a...
Okay.
So I'd say uni/multi.
Multi? Okay, so we'll take the highest one then?
Yeah.
Multi. Great. So what I'll do is I'll have a copy of the lesson plan that you've just gone through, so I've got that with me as we go through the lesson. We're going to attach that. Now, so during the observation, what are the goals that you would like to identify?
Yeah, it's definitely what didn't work last time. So the change I made was the getting their own wants to investigate. That didn't work, so I want to make it work this time. And I've got some notes here. I'm going to help focus their thinking on contexts rather than just general knowledge of SAL.
Yeah. So
position their thinking of how does SAL affect me, which is probably higher on the solar taxonomy, but rather than, I just need to know what the anti-cycle is.
Yeah, I think certainly with, as you identified, the learners and the rank that they have in experience, to make it relevant to their context is really great.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other goals that you'd like to take special notes on?
No, that's my main focus.
Okay.
So maybe about how that's tied into the actual task and whether it's effective in them actually researching. So is that structured well enough for them to find those answers?
So can I ask, how will you know that it's effective?
If in their learnt column or their reflection at the end, or conversations with them, they have some kind of like realisation or a deeper understanding of the processes involved for them.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think that there will be the evidence that we can look for to say, yeah, that was successful. So if they wanted to learn something at the end of the session, if they've learned it in the column, then we know that was successful based on the context.
Just a quick random question about the tool. Is it possible to pick learners to reflect based on if they're the ones that do what I asked them to do?
Yes, certainly.
Okay, that could work too.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Okay, so for me the goal there is you want to check the wants column in the KW1 to see that that is actually going to drive their motivation and find the information. And to see whether that's successful is there will be a connection between the learned column and that column there, which we'll be able to use the document to confirm that. So. Great. So for the learners, for the observation, do you have identified 3 learners you'd like to?
Not at the moment, because we haven't got them yet. So they're coming in on Monday morning, so not at the moment. Okay, cool. We'll do that when they come in. All right. Any other questions? No, I'm happy. I'm confident. Can get stuck in. Cool. Thank you very much. Cheers.